Welcome to The Ripple Effect, the podcast where UH students share the ripples they're creating on campus and beyond. I'm your host, Tim, and we're kicking things off with a very special first episode. Today, we're joined by the International Business Organization, better known as IBO. They're a group that brings together students who are passionate about international business, cultural awareness, and studying abroad. From professional development workshops to cultural exchange events, IBO creates a community that connects students here at UH with the rest of the world. In this episode, we'll get to know the people behind IBO, talk about the importance of global cultural exchange, and wrap it up with a fun game we like to call Would You Invest?, where our guests decide whether they'd back some interesting and maybe a little wacky business ideas. So stick around because this is going to be a good one. Okay, all right, well, just to get things started off, how about you tell me maybe your name, year, and what drew you to join IBO?
Start with me?
Yeah.
All right. Hello, my name is Noah. I am currently a junior, and I am involved with IBO as the president for this semester, fall 2025, and following spring 2026 as well. What drew me to IBO? IBO is a really good aspect that's promoted through studying abroad, those personal insights that you gain through studying abroad, and that's what drew me to IBO. From then, in the following years, it's grew to more of a networking opportunity and discovering myself more professionally as well as personally.
Yeah, nice. Hi, everyone. My name is Landon, and I am a senior. I am majoring in marketing, international business, and hopefully tripling in Japanese. I am the IBC senator for IBO. Part of my job is to talk to IBC, which is the Inter-Business Council that kind of manages all the clubs. I joined IBO mainly because it was through connections at first, and it was when I first came back from study abroad, and I wanted to start branching out and talking to some people. So I started with IBO.
All right, so for all the people out there who haven't heard of IBO before, how would you describe it in just a few words?
Just a few words. So 3 words I would give is culture, network, and growth. Firstly, culture, from the fact that we have a big multicultural base, international students as well as students who are interested in studying abroad. So it's a good way to connect and find personal insights. And then growth, for the fact that we have leadership positions available if you want to advance yourself professionally in that environment, as well as a personal network, as well as a public network within the club that we have. We host a lot of events throughout the semester, whether that's exploring local insights through companies, company tours, workshops, as well as just fun events tailored to having an escape maybe from your work, school life. It goes around a lot of the time. So those are the 3 words I would say reconcile with IBO the most.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Landon?
Yeah, I'd say he's pretty on the dot with everything he just said. I think for me, I would say a globally minded community. I think that's very important to us because a lot of our members are people who are very much interested in studying abroad. We also have a lot of exchange students who participate in our programs, our events, and interact with our UH students. And because of that, it's like a lot of people who have many opinions about when it comes to business, the world, community in general. So I'd say globally minded community.
I love that. And it's so interesting. I mean, you bring up international or exchange students. So I was told that IBO started from 2 international students back in 2010, which is really interesting to me because there's these large organizations on campus, but for something that I've seen IBO to be pretty big, to be started by 2 international students, that's pretty amazing. Can you, tell me a little bit more about that story?
Yeah, it's so interesting because the club was founded by 2 international students, but it's grown to the point where we have a bigger local base, and from there we look to expand internationally. So as we've grown throughout the years, it's actually become quite the opposite, in a trend where we're slowly advancing to how to target local students and then develop them to an international environment, right? So those are the growth areas that we're starting to see from where the club was founded between our 2 international students. And I think up to this date, it's been 15 years now. So there's a huge amount of growth in terms of how we're able to allocate funding for these events and then tailor to these students' needs as well. So there's a big growth. The emphasis is still there, but now we're slowly transitioning to a point where it's the opposite, where we're connecting students to grow internationally. And from there, we have international base as well to give these students personal insights.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to add on, I guess, we did have our 15th anniversary for IBO this past this last semester, and in that there was a lot of different professionals who came in who were previously IBO members, and from their interactions they were talking about how a lot of the past members are doing business outside of Hawaii, outside of the US, and doing it abroad in Japan and many different places. So yeah.
And I mean, it's funny to think also that we're so perfectly placed for international business, right? Shidler School of College is an amazing college, definitely one that people, from what I've heard, will come to Hawaii specifically for. So I feel like having an international business club is like completely necessary. I haven't heard of any other ones. Are there any other international business clubs?
Not specifically international business. There are organizations that are tailored to meeting international students and more of a social network. In terms of the specific business aspect, we are the only student organization who emphasizes on that. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. Well, hear that, guys? So this is the place, the organization to be if you want to do international business. All right. So as far as, how about past events? Can you think of maybe a favorite event that you've had, that you've been to or organized?
Last year, I had the privilege of organizing an event that we have every fall. This event is called Global Learning, Global Success. This is a mass audience seminar event that we have every fall, where it is open to IBO members, but we also allow spots for all UH Manoa students as well as faculty. They would come in, and it's a big networking presentation where we would hear from former study abroad students who provide cultural advice, as well as professors and alumni who give professional advice for possibly exploring careers abroad, which is a realm that's sometimes untouched with what we share throughout the club. But it proves to be a very informative experience because people come into Shidler knowing to gain that education to possibly explore a career overseas, right? There's a big network in Shidler within areas in Asia, Europe, etc. So we want to provide those opportunities for areas of all interest as well. And that's a really, really good event that we have. And yeah, it's great. It's great. I had a really fun time coordinating that event, and it'll be here for this fall semester as well. So be sure to check that one out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Open to all UH students.
Open to all UH students, of course.
I'll be there.
Great.
How about you, London?
Me, it's a little bit more on the one of our funner events that kind of allows us to not only network with ourselves, but also network with other business clubs. It's called Super Clubs Day. Super Clubs Day is an event hosted by IBC where all the business clubs come together for pretty much like a sports day, and we compete in different events. Games like volleyball, that's like one of our main events. We have dance, trivia, and usually there's like a fourth event that gets announced later on in the semester, but it's one of our biggest events, and it's one that I organize with our club, and it's always fun. We always host practices and stuff like that, and it's just a great time to just have fun in the day and socialize.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard of Super Clubs Day. Being over there on the other side of campus in computer science, I see like pictures and videos of Super Club Day. It looks super fun.
There's a huge competitive edge to it too, because it's within all 12 Shidler organizations on campus. Depending on the semester and depending on each club's availability, some might have to go in one team and be joined together. But it's a really, really fun escape from everything that goes on in our personal lives as well as our academic lives. But yeah, we have really, really fun with that event.
Yeah, and it allows us to be more active because we're always at school and always working on different things. So it's always a great opportunity to, go out, enjoy yourselves, exercise.
Yeah, see the sunlight for once.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like IBO or just Shidler in general has, affected you or, assisted you in your growth throughout your journey so far. Can you say specifically maybe about what your thoughts were before joining IBO and now that you're in IBO for however long it's been? How do you feel you've grown professionally or in other aspects?
I joined IBO in my first semester at UH in fall of 2023. And that was a time in my undergraduate life where I was exploring student organizations for the first time. And I didn't really have anywhere to align my personal interest in besides studying abroad. That's kind of the main reason why I chose UH, wanted to get affiliated with Shidler, because there is a big pool of scholarship opportunity as well as personal network to develop as well. So I was interested in IBO. I checked out their events for the first time just for a more informative aspect. But then as that semester went by, it grew to become so much more. I met some of the closest friends I was able to make throughout my college experience. Now alumni, I still keep in contact with them today. And from then it grew so much more to an opportunity for career development where I explored business clubs for the first time, got involved in leadership positions. I actually got my first ever internship through an IBO workshop as well.
Nice.
So it's a really, really cool opportunity in terms of growth. And throughout these past 2 years, being able to now serve in a position where I have an opportunity to give back as president, it's super rewarding so far, and I look forward to carrying those experiences in the future. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I joined the club in fall 2024. I originally joined because I just came off of study abroad and I didn't know as much people. And this is when I changed my major into business through my experience study abroad, because I was originally just going to go into Japanese, but I realized, I want to add on something else to make sure for my own future, of course.
Interdisciplinary.
Yeah, pretty much exactly. So I went into business, and through a friend, I heard of IBO, and IBO's International Business Organization. I heard there was a lot of exchange students, so I thought it'd be a great opportunity. And then I joined, originally just for more of the social aspect and started talking to people. But through the workshops, the professional development, also one of our biggest events, PIN, which is Professional Interaction Night, where I got opportunities to start talking to professionals, and it gave me a new understanding of what the business world is like. And definitely I was able to develop professionally, learn how to interact with different people and start networking. So those are kind of the small things. And I think without these leadership positions that I'm now doing, I wouldn't be working in certain areas. And also I got an offer for an internship for PACRIM, and hopefully that was through IBO as well. So hopefully I can get that.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
So you've always been a pretty social person, more the professional development of formalities kind of thing.
Actually, I used to be a lot more introverted, but after study abroad and through IB, I've definitely become more extroverted.
Nice.
I'd say, yeah.
I'd say you're probably one of the more social people, on the list of all the people I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I mean, not just looking at the Instagram reels.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But okay, well, this next question, we're going to shift a little bit and talk a little bit more about the current topics, maybe the value of studying abroad and global exchange. But this question is just for Landon.
Okay.
So why do you think cultural awareness is becoming so important in today's business world? Global business world.
Global business world. Well, I went study abroad, and I went to Hitotsubashi University in Japan, which is in Tokyo. It's a business school, heavily orientated school for business. And I took many different intro classes to different departments, so accounting, finance, marketing, and I think it was management. And through those classes, I learned like how they teach their courses and how operations kind of change, and laws, of course, like business law is also very different abroad. And also a lot of my classmates were Japanese students who were trying to practice English. So I was able to converse with them and get their opinions on what their global views are when it comes to business as a whole. And coming back here, going into Shidler, talking to people in IBO, I learned how different that is overall. And being culturally aware allows us to not only branch out within different communities, like smaller niche communities in Hawaii, but also doing business abroad. And I think there's a huge potential for that.
So would you say, you touched upon a little bit about like laws, policies in other countries and how they operate, and then also on maybe like softer skills like cultural awareness of certain subculture formalities. Yeah. How do you feel that those two intertwine, or do you think that one is more important in terms of maybe, or do you think, I guess maybe developing all of them or having a good understanding of how other places have laws and policies in place for their culture, and also on a ground level where you're meeting people face to face, having that soft skills and understanding the formalities of those cultures assist you in business?
Yeah, I think it is important to understand both. When I was abroad, I definitely paid attention to more culture aspects because Japan's work life is very much different compared to America. It's very much more strict, and like things are like how it's supposed to be, tailored this way. It's structured in a sense. Not saying that America's not structured, of course, but definitely those like understanding. So if we're trying to reach out to a company in Japan, for example, we have to understand that they have their own ways of doing their own procedures, their operations. So I feel like that's very important. When it comes to business law, there's also things that we can't do and also they can't do when it comes to business doing business here and doing business there. So it's all about the communication and having a better understanding of that cultural awareness, and also their own B-laws helps us coordinate better and can lead to further, I'd say business opportunities, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if you're trying to broker a $5 million deal, the CEO of another company would want you to know, it's like, oh, answer promptly.
Yes.
Japanese, very prompt.
Yes.
Very specific formats. Oh, well, very good information to have.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this next question is going to be for you, Noah.
Okay.
So for students who may be hesitant, what do you think they gain from studying abroad that they wouldn't get by staying in Hawaii?
Firstly, from a comfort aspect, I actually studied abroad last semester in Copenhagen, Denmark, Copenhagen Business School. It was a really, really eye-opening experience for the fact that not only from the education that I received, but living in an environment that's so different from home here in Hawaii for the first time. I always tell prospective study abroad students who are unsure at the time of where they would want to possibly go, what they would want to study, that it'll be uncomfortable at first. It's an adjustment, living in a different cultural environment, maybe communicating with those who don't speak English as well, right? Navigating the city for the first time. It develops over time on your comfort, how confident you are in speaking to strangers outside on the street. And maybe like Landon, who said he was introverted to start off, coming back from studying abroad, he's grown personally. He's an extroverted character.
I would have never guessed.
He was able to network with these people, have open conversations with these people. And those memories from study abroad, they carry over, not only through your college experience, but the rest of your life, right? You have photo albums of the events that you went to, the experiences that you had, and you remember the growth that you experienced, right? Not just from an academic standpoint, but how you are as a person. And it definitely changes you. So there's going to be struggles in the beginning if you are interested in studying abroad and you go through that experience, but it's all worth it in the end. And coming back and now and being able to share my personal experiences with others is nothing but a rewarding experience. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, no, I can definitely agree with that. I mean, having world experience, right?
Absolutely.
Rather than just like a small microcosm compared to the world. I'm sure it must have been uncomfortable, right? I mean, from pain comes growth. So were there any aspects of that traveling or that you can think of, maybe to prepare people for that?
Especially for me living in Europe, the distance between a Scandinavian country and then an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, right? The time difference for me was 11 to 12 hours throughout. So it was difficult to maintain communication with some family members that I had, some friends. And then I also was a little bit, jealous at times because I missed IBO one semester. They're having so much fun that semester, the events that were going on. So sometimes there's definitely going to be a personal attachment to home, right? And you might get homesick. It's definitely different from if you were to go to a mainland college and study, because you're still in America. You still have some ties, maybe family ties, similarities. But coming into an environment where it's totally different from the way you communicate, it stands out to you. And I feel that those discomforts are just something that you'll have to be persistent with as the time goes on. And there are going to be people there on your phone, right? You can FaceTime them if you're ever struggling with something, because we understand that the struggle is there, but there are ways to move past it and grow. The hardest challenges end up becoming the most rewarding experiences from my personal life. So that's something that I look to relay for these students as well.
Nice. And that's what creates you to be an individual, right?
Individual, as well as create more closer ties with others as well.
Yeah.
Definitely abroad, definitely.
Yes. Nice. All right. Well, I've never had that experience, but hopefully one day I would love to travel abroad. That sounds super cool.
Yeah, whether studying or
Even just
with
traveling.
friends, travel.
Yeah.
Depending on how long.
Yeah. I don't know about 6 months. We'll see, maybe if I have the money. All right. So this next question is going to be for both of you. What's one culture shock moment you've personally had while traveling or meeting exchange students? So it's specific.
I would say for me, specifically Danish people living in Copenhagen, they were more reserved in their normal lifestyle. They actually spoke very, very good English. But in terms of going up to someone in the middle of class, during a lecture, trying to initiate a conversation, you can tell that the openness from the students aren't as welcoming as, maybe someone here at UH Manoa in a more multicultural base. So for me, that was definitely something that I had to learn to navigate. And from then it was understanding that where, people in specific demographics, how their personalities relate and how they tie. And sometimes it becomes a strategy in my head. I have to be like, oh yeah, like what are the right things to say to this person to like, want to get to know them more, go out, hang out, have fun. Those are some of the qualities that I thought about from the struggles in the beginning. And like I said previously, that from those experiences, right, when you develop that opportunity to be able to learn how to talk to different people from different backgrounds, it grows, right? It helps you get familiar with yourself as a person. It teaches you some things that you didn't realize about yourself that you now can reflect on and build upon as a character. Yeah.
Thinking outside the box.
Yeah. Really thinking outside the box for sure.
Yeah.
How about you, Lan?
I would say I don't have as much culture shock moments because I visit Japan a lot. My family's from Japan, from Hyogoken, which is the Kobe, Osaka, Kansai side. So I've visited a lot, but I think more for me was going to Tokyo for the first time because when I went study abroad, that was my first time in Tokyo. And it was very different compared to Hawaii. The buildings are big, very metropolis city, lots of people everywhere pretty much. So I'd say that's one of my biggest culture shock moments. But me personally, it wasn't so much the Japanese culture aspect because I'm fairly used to it already. It was more meeting my study abroad friends and the things that they believed in and like the things that they would say, like cultural difference, like small ones, like McDonald's, for example. My Australian friend, they call McDonald's Maccers. And I was like, Maccers? What is Maccers? And she's like, oh, I meant McDonald's. And I was like, you call that Maccers? Makudonarudo, Japanese, right? And like stuff like that and like certain words, right, like that. I wouldn't say like, it was just like interesting. And I was like, whoa, that's very different. Small stuff like that, I would say.
So, this is for both of you, real quick, fun one. If you could study abroad anywhere right now, expenses paid, where would you go and why?
Ooh.
Do you have one?
I had a really good time in Europe, but I'd love to explore a country in Asia, a little bit more exposure, not necessarily Southeast Asia, more so like the Japan or the Korea. Maybe, I'd love to study abroad in Thailand.
Ooh,
I think
fun choice.
the Thailand, the city environment, maybe for some it's a little bit overwhelming, but I find it to be like a fun experience. They're a lot more extroverted as well. So being able to communicate with these people, super delicious, cheap food, right? That's amazing. So that's definitely a country that I would consider. Yeah.
All expenses paid, and then you want to go somewhere cheap. That's funny.
Yeah.
That means you can spend more.
Yeah, it's more. Just
I guess that makes
more
sense.
food to die for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And London?
For me, I've been to Japan for a lot, so definitely not there. I recently went to Europe for last December-ish, just for like a couple weeks, and I was like, this is not enough time. So I would probably honestly go to Belgium. The reason why I'm saying Belgium is not because exactly Belgium. I love Belgium. I went there, visited a friend. But Belgium is generally in the center of Europe. So from Belgium, you can kind of go anywhere from, around because it's pretty much the center of Europe. So I would say go Belgium and travel everywhere. And
nice.
that would be my ideal study abroad if all expenses are paid.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. I would go to the moon.
Cool.
All
Study
expenses
abroad
paid.
at the moon.
Come on, it's like cost like $1 million something.
That was $1 million, nothing there.
$1 million. Yeah,
Space rocks.
float around. All right, okay, we're moving into our next segment, which I believe is our last segment. It's gonna be our game. Would you invest?
Oh.
All right, so I'm gonna present you with 2 to 3 quick business pitches, mix of real and fake, and after each, give a short reaction, invest or pass. Okay, I'm just gonna go down the line. Okay, a subscript, and then actually I'll just take one from, only one person will answer, and I'll go on to the next one.
Okay.
Unless
you
it's-
can answer first. Then.
Sure.
Unless you have a really good answer.
I'm
Yeah.
nervous.
All right.
You got it?
Okay. A subscription service where college students swap international snacks monthly, featuring treats from different countries.
Ooh.
Lightning round.
Just yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
It sounds great. I don't really have a particular reason. It was just very, very
It sounds
enticing.
delicious.
Yeah, it
All
sounds
right,
delicious.
Let's take
Yeah.
it. Okay, next one. An app that pairs you with a virtual exchange buddy in another country to practice language and share cultural experiences. AI translated in real time?
100% yes. Yeah, it's just a great opportunity to start practicing if you're going to language. And I feel like it's important to develop your own language skills, especially if you have another culture that you can speak in. Yeah.
Valid. Okay. A zero waste refill station startup on campus that provides international beauty and skincare brands throughout sustainable dispensers.
Ooh, personally, I'd say pass. Just because I'm not the most familiar with skincare products.
You don't need
products.
beauty or skincare products.
Thank you.
Just
I really, really appreciate
on
that.
you.
Just for a personal reason, then maybe pass.
Okay. Campus capsule hotels. Ooh, I want to invest in this one. Yeah. Micro capsule sleeping pods installed in libraries or student centers for students who need a power nap between classes.
Oh, for sure. I feel like a lot of us are sleep deprived. College is tough. I think that's a great thing. I would love to sleep on campus if possible, without getting in trouble.
Like a purpose, right?
Yeah, with a purpose.
Okay, all right. Smart chopsticks. Reusable chopsticks with built-in sensors that can detect sodium and calorie levels in food, marketed as a health-conscious dining tool.
Ooh, invest. I try to be cautious in terms of what I eat at times. You can't really sense the nutritional value in some things. And then we also have to be more environmentally aware of what goes around our island in terms of waste usage and then recycling. So yeah, I said yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and then last one. Okay. Smart suitcase for study abroad. A suitcase that doubles as a mobile Wi-Fi hotspot, GPS tracker, and portable charging station, marketed to study abroad students.
Ooh, okay, yeah, I would invest in that. I'd say like figuring out your network situation, your internet situation is always difficult, especially if it's a country you're not familiar with or if there's a huge language barrier. For me, it wasn't a problem in Japan, but I'd say it's really useful, especially when you're on the go. And I know Europe, there's not a lot of places to store your stuff, so you carry your luggage around. So it's just very useful.
Yeah, true. Especially when you're traveling and if like your phone dies or
Yeah.
you don't have Wi-Fi, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, yeah.
But okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in. Noah, Landon, IBO, thank you again for coming in. And that's the
Ripple.
Fact.